What's going on, Door-to-Door Mastery fans? This is your boy, Paul Shakuri, with some mad respect for a gentleman who commented on this YouTube channel. And the reason why I'm throwing some mad respect for you is because I was in your situation, and there's so many people who are in the situation that you are in right now that I thought we most definitely have to discuss about this topic. And that's about switching from selling for one company to another, and the details you need to hear. All this after this. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, so I really want to reach out to Nick Hess, who on the YouTube channel basically made a freaking awesome comment that really resonated with me. Because when I was doing, I'll tell you first of all what he said and have this make sense. So when I was selling residential and commercial security door to door, I started off back in the day at Apex, the original Apex, who's now Vivint, which a lot of you have known about. And this was over 12, 15 years ago. It's been quite a bit of time. You know, I got started, and I started my first summer program with a very successful office. We were actually the second best. I did not finish first. But when I went out there and I started to knock on doors and started to gain some traction after about the second month mark, the third month mark, where I really started to pick up, it was only one more month until the summer was ending, which means obviously the 4 months of knocking. And we didn't have back then this preseason that you could have went out. Now, the next year they introduced that, but the first year we didn't have that option. We were just, boom, out on turf starting in 4 months of knocking. So what happened was, once I actually completed and finished that, well, then I was put in because the summer was done and I wanted to manage. At that time, yeah, believe it or not, yours truly was not able to, well, was not given a management position. And I'm going to say this proudly, as a door-to-door person who's been very successful in coaching and training, and, now I have to say, and proud to say, a millionaire who has, no debt-free, and literally has an income stream that is very important for me to share with you guys how I got there so that you can get there as well. They made the wrong decision. They chose not to turn me into a manager. And the two people who that year they turned into a manager, guess what? Are no longer even in the business and industry. So I always have this little great feeling that they made the wrong decision, and hence somebody else jumped on it, took advantage of that scenario, until I obviously decided to branch off and go on my own, because that company actually, went under. I'm a man of my word. I'm very, very loyal to people. And if I say something, I'll do it. Unless something goes wrong with that situation. And, like such, I moved into having my own company and so much more, and growing from there. But just to touch upon that, I'm dabbling because I don't want to dab too much into that right now. It'll make the video longer. Nick says, he goes, Paul, I like, boom, let me just show you where, there we go, right over there. So Nick, let's see if that zooms in. All right, whatever. Okay, Nick goes, Paul, I like it. I was listening to you and wondering how you sold. Then you said you do exactly what I do. Look busy and wait for them to talk to you. Great tip. I worked for Apex as well. Vivint until this year. I switched to ADT this year. I have been struggling to sell this last month. Why? I should be confident at selling an alarm system and home automation anywhere. I keep giving my commission away with points and lowering my MMR. It's frustrating. Paul, do you got any freaking advice for me? Brother, I do, and I'll tell you why. I've been through that. So let's dive into that question, into the actual board. Okay, so basically what happened was Nick went from one company to another. So here you go, you have Apex, who's then obviously Vivint. Okay, so he went from here into the world of the Octagon. I know, that's bad. I get it. The Octagon's not really an octagon, but who cares? It's not about that. So he went from Vivint to Octagon, the blue blood, which I was commenting, and And most of you should actually read the comments of what I wrote. So he went to the blue blood from orange blood and made the transition. So first of all, I want to speak about, and again, as you guys know, I'm a very detailed person. I want to speak about what's going on here. When you're in the orange blood, you're speaking and you're talking and you're communicating, and your mind and your body knows everything about Vivint, about the Apex. So you know everything about the history. So when you're talking with customers, you're saying small little details, especially being that you were experienced with them and you were a higher up salesperson, an experienced salesperson. You were saying the little things like, oh, by the way, we've been in business since this, and we've done this, and we've done that. And by the way, let me show you this. Now our central stations work like this, and those little things, although remember when I teach you guys to close more sales, it's not about what you say. Okay, and I always like to say it's really 10% is about what you say, and then 90% is about how you present yourself, how you say what you say. It's about how, okay? It doesn't quite matter the small details about, the words that are coming out of your mouth. However, what changes how you react and present at the door is knowing this 10% about what you're supposed to say. And it's pretty detailed that I want to kind of touch upon this. The actual words don't matter what you're saying, but because you start to go into now the new blue blood, which by the way, ADT right now in this given time, and I have to say this because I know a lot about them. I know almost everybody over at corporate. And by the way, this video is probably going to get out to them. So I just want to say ADT, congratulations on seriously being a powerhouse machine right now that's literally out there in growth mode, literally taking off to the point where they will do what it takes that's in reason and make sense in business to actually, grow and continue to help out and have the support for their dealers, for their sales reps, for everything. It's just, it's a machine now that can't be stopped. It really is. So I have to say, making that transition for you, knowing there's a certain reason, I'm sure, as to why you did it, is a great thing. And as of opposed to, I would say about 5-6 years ago, it wasn't as strong as it was today. The people, the team on the board, from Ken Rosen to Clay Farrington to all the people who are in there from their support side. And by the way, full disclosure, philquick.com, which is my software company, is integrated and was the first to cross the finish line. Yes, I'm going to say this, with ADT, and also integrated with other partners. Little plug, but also if you're not using the tools and resources, guys and gals, at the doors that you need. And I'm going to dive into a little bit about Active Knocker as well and get you guys some screenshots here shortly and show you guys the new UI that's coming out, user interface. You're going to see some cool shit. Now, the thing is, you got to understand what's going on at the doors so we can break this down as hence your door-to-door mastery coach, so that you can start seeing and figuring out the things that are needed in order to close more deals. So you went from orange blood to blue blood. Did your blood change? Yes. When your blood changes, guess what happens? Things start to change. Remember, when you make a minute change, big things can actually trigger and affect what happens as of an outcome. And I'm going to give you an example. So say you want to make a cookie recipe, okay? And the 3 ingredients that are needed in this cookie recipe, okay, so let's call it Paul's chocolate chip cookies. So Paul's chocolate chip cookies, okay? And in my chocolate chip cookie recipe, in order to make this amazing chocolate chips, by the way, I'm on a ketogenic diet right now, so I can't eat anything with sugar, just to put that out for you, and I'm feeling great. I'm actually going today. I have about 4 hours. So I have in about 4 hours. I have about 2 hours and a half of hockey. So I'm stoked. These days are my funnest days. So just to pop that out there, not that it matters. Like, it could be hard talking into a camera when I'm a social person, always looking at people's reactions. So from time to time, I will run off on that. And thanks for staying tuned. Okay, so my chocolate chip cookies, my recipe is, let's just say 1 milk, okay, 2 sugar, and 3, let's just say flour, okay? Okay, so this is my recipe. These are the ingredients that are needed in order for me to make my amazing chocolate chip cookies, okay? This is what's needed. However, how much of each ingredient is needed to make these chocolate chip cookies? And let's just say of this, I need 1 cup. And of this, I need 2 tablespoons. And for this, I need 1 cup, okay? So if I take my ingredients and I mix it up, and put it in the exact same oven at the exact same temperature all the time. If I throw it in there and I take it and I put it at the exact same temperature and the exact same, when these cookies come out, for the most part, and I know people get into detailed about, pressure and all that stuff. Listen, for the most part, if you do the exact same thing over and over again, that cookie is going to taste the exact same. Now think about this. What if I were to go, you know what? I feel like a little bit more protein. What am I going to do? I'm going to throw in another ingredient there. Or even better, instead of that, I'm going to up it to get a little bit more protein, I'm going to do 1.5 cups. Okay? I'm going to do 1.5 cups of milk, but I'm going to keep everything else the same. When I pop this in the oven, when it comes out, is this cookie going to taste the same? Or is it going to be different because we made a small little adjustment to the ingredient? I hope by now this, my very good friends, my door-to-door mastery fans, makes a lot of sense. When you start changing some ingredients, what tends to happen is the outcome is different. We went from orange blood into blue blood, okay? So what happens is now all of a sudden the things you used to say, the small things you used to say, start to have to change. You start talking about how ADT's been in business since the 1800s. And by the way, have you seen all these other signs on the block? And you start going into all these different things that you say. Now, because you're changing a small ingredient, it's impacting massively. Here's the catch. It is impacting massively how you're reacting, how you're portraying yourself at the door, and this is what's affecting your sales. How and what you're basically doing at the doors has been changed now 360 degrees because you made this shift. And this is not something to be afraid of, but it's something that needs to be corrected. And once you correct it, well, that is when you're going to start getting the results you used to get and more. Okay? So it's just a matter of adjustment. You're in what I call the adjustment phase of the new product that you're selling, product and service, okay? And which is all taught, yes, plug number 2, in my MasterD2D.com program. If you are not a MasterD2D.com program, you have to grab that program to increase your sales, to learn this stuff so that you can be out there closing more deals. Everyone, I'm talking to you. Yeah, that is a plug. By the way, if you do not have my free 3 video series teaching you, 1, your opener pitch, how to communicate, somebody knocks on the door, what's going to go on, what's happening before you knock on the door, after, the transitions into the house, features and benefits, and bam, closing that deal, getting more sales, selling door to door. What are you freaking waiting for? The link's in the description here on YouTube. Click that link and grab that free video series. So once I start to show you that what's going to happen over here inside your mind, my brother Nick, this is what's going on. How do you overcome this? You got to start studying ADT. And as a matter of fact, once you start learning all those small little things that you're going to start to say that you feel comfortable with, it's going to bring your how you're presenting yourself at the door back up to your 90%, your ultimate 9 out of 10, your 10 out of 10, and you're going to start seeing more deals closed. The majority of people quit when they start to feel change. They get scared, they back up, and they either go back or change, and all of a sudden they're changing all these different things. They're no longer using milk, they're no longer using sugar, they're trying this, they're trying that, they're trying this, and then they end up with wow, wow, wow. Goose egg. Don't be that person. You're not far from there. You got me in your corner, and everybody else, comment in the YouTube video, and hey, I might just put that video ahead of all the other other videos that I have to create. And as a matter of fact, I have a massive list of different stuff I'm going to go over, but I thought this was important as I saw this one that maybe since it's summer, a lot of you can actually really utilize and use if you're coming from a different, whether it's pest control to alarms, solar to alarms, alarms to pest control, HVAC to solar, you name it, that's what's going to go on. It's nothing to shy down from. Once you start to learn more about ADT and why people should choose ADT, you start fitting that into your pitch. It's going to change how you present yourself and how much confidence you have at those doors. Hey, I hope this video found you well. Don't just click off right now. Before you do, make sure you hit and smash that subscribe button. Smash it. Smash that subscribe button here on YouTube. And guess what? You're going to get these videos directly in your inbox. So what? Guess what? Every time I create these videos, content, knowledge is going to go directly to your brain. Frick, it's free until I get you in on that door-to-door mastery program so that you can then implement. And by the way, I'm talking about that as of something that is mandatory for you to grab. The tools are important for you. You guys want to see more about Active Knocker? I'm going to show you that in the next video. Take care, stay subscribed, smash that subscribe button, and also don't forget to hit the notifications. Boom!